We're live.
This
Live.
meeting is being live streamed.
Live from New York.
Here we go. Here we go. Yes, we are. Live from New York.
Live from New York and California.
Welcome, everyone, to our first YouTube live, 90 Day Fiance the other way. And if you're here with us, we're excited. So I'm here with my co-host, Mary. Hello. Hey, girl. Hey. How's it going?
Girl. Hey. I'm excited to be live streaming on YouTube, live from New York.
It's a little confusing. Live streaming is so new to me.
I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here and just talking like
normal.
I
know. And I'm sure a lot of this is going to be like we don't necessarily want everyone to know how the sausage is made. So we usually just kind of do our thing and then bring it to you as though it was so easy. But now you're going to see what actually happens behind the scenes.
Right.
Which is that we're big stoners who are sometimes drunk and fuck this up a lot. But watch me. Look how professional I'm going to be. Welcome to Kiki and Kibit's 90 Day Fiance the Other Way. Season 3, episode 50. What's the episode name?
Proceed with caution.
Proceed with caution. So how you doing, Mary?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, girl. It's been a long week. I'm glad it's 90 Day Sunday. And Alina's not happy with Steven. Not at all.
No, but is anyone?
No.
Let's think about that right now. Like, is there anyone who is happy with Steven at this moment?
No.
I bet you not even Steven is happy with himself. Anyway, we open the episode.
So weird.
Yeah, no, I know. He's a fucking weirdo, for real. But we open the episode and there they are. She has told him basically like, you're not staying in that hostel. You will be staying with me. So they get a bigger apartment.
Yes. And he checks out the couch to make sure that he fits on the couch. Because he always has to make this big production on how they're going to sleep in separate rooms. Because this,
you know what? I just had this thought right now while we were talking. What if that is total bullshit and he's just putting that on for the camera? What if they've been banging this whole time? We don't really know. I'm just saying.
No, we don't really know.
Why does she like him? They do seem strangely compatible, but I do not understand exactly why. Like, what is it that is attracting her to him, do you think?
I think just it's his funny, dorky personality. I think he makes her laugh, and that kind of what draws him to her. But besides that, I don't know, because he's just fucking weird.
He's not super good looking either.
No, he's not super good looking.
Opinion.
No, not at all.
And there was that part during the episode where he's like, I think she sees me as this Prince Charming, like galloping in on my white steed. But does she really? Because like that is the last thing that I see in him is like Mr. Prince Charming.
No, he is not my version of Prince Charming at all. When I close my eyes and picture Prince Charming, it is not Steven. Not one bit.
No, definitely not. He's like more from the island of misfit toys. And he still has not told her that he's been getting it on with people.
Until the very end.
Well, we don't even see it on this episode. We see it on like coming next time. Yeah. So,
he does a companionship inventory. He wants him to do a companionship inventory.
Yeah, right. He's starting out with like this marriage counseling approach. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, even the pack of wild dogs was trying to save Alina. That shit was funny, wasn't it? When the dogs start fucking attacking him, he's like, "Go
Those were
away!"
cute dogs. They
Yeah,
weren't
I know.
attacking.
No, he was like, "Go
Don't blame the
away!" We're trying.
dogs. I
No, but they
know.
were even
Go
trying to
away. We're
like.
trying to talk. Yeah, they were. They were like circling her, going, run. We've got you covered. We've made a distraction. Just run for it now.
They were even trying to save her, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so,
I feel like he's a total hypocrite, this guy, isn't he?
he's a hypocrite and a gaslighter because when Alina tries to tell him how she feels about him having female friends that are ex-girlfriends and
Right.
how she felt about him still going out on dates after, she told him about how she felt about him going out on dates, he turns around and says, "Oh, I feel like that's more of your insecurity." No, motherfucker. And then he pulls a stand from Love After Lockup. "I didn't think we were exclusive." And Alina's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We were making plans for our future. We met in Europe for 2 weeks. And then we were talking on the phone every day about marriage, children, or future. I thought we were exclusive. And now it's like, you're telling me you didn't think we were exclusive? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, I feel like some point within that confessional, he comes to terms with the fact that like he puts something out that is not quite authentic to what is going on. He's like
Yes.
basically he led her on. He's like, I get that my actions and my words might not have been syncing up.
Yes. Definitely did not sync up. Definitely did
But
not.
you're right that he gaslights her. He makes it all about her, right?
Yeah. It's her insecurity. No, it's not an insecurity. That's fucked up. And then he says, to her, "Oh, did you kiss any other guys? I would
Right. And
forgive
she's like,
you."
no. I know.
"I would forgive you if you did." And she's
Yeah,
like,
sorry. You're not getting out of it that easily, dude. We're not having it this
you
way.
know?
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting though, like I don't know what okay, if you're talking about marriage, you should at that point be exclusive. That's just bullshit. Never
Right.
mind.
Right.
I always try to be fair, but
Yeah,
like
no, but
no. I'm
they were
going with
talking
you
about
on this.
marriage. Yeah, they were talking
Yeah,
about
no, when you're talking
marriage.
about marriage, at that point you're saying you're the one I want to be with,
Yes.
right?
And they're making plans to go to Turkey to get married. To
Right.
eventually, I don't want to hear whatever the fuck Steven is saying. The end goal of going to Turkey was to get married.
Right. Or they would
Okay.
have been in Russia hanging out, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, in those conversations, they were making plans to go to Turkey to get married. They were exclusive.
So what do you think about so she calls Masha and they decide to they discuss his reaction to the message that she sent him.
Yes, which
And
was
it
also
sounds
kind
like
of flirty. It was flirty.
you thought his reaction was 30? Let's talk
Yes.
about that. So
Yes.
Masha sends him a message saying it's so beautiful there. I've always wanted to go there to wherever
Right.
he lives in the
Right.
United States.
And he
And he's
sends
like,
her.
it's better in the winter. We have some of the most beautiful snow. You should come in the winter. That seemed flirty to you?
He never mentioned having a fiance.
I know, but she didn't say anything about like getting with
Well,
him. There
we'll
was
see.
nothing
We'll
about
we'll
that.
see the more we'll see how the conversation
Yeah.
continues.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, we might not know. Yeah.
honestly, as a married woman, I don't respond to random messages on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
either.
it like I mean, he's supposed to be eventually, I'm going to say this again, the end goal is getting married to Alina.
Right.
Why is he responding to random messages from random Russian girls on Facebook?
Yeah. I'm trying to think about this. Like, well, she was just messaging about where he lives, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I wouldn't even answer it.
Well, yeah, of course not. I would think it was a bot or a catfish
Right,
personally.
right,
So
yeah.
start with that assumption that like you're a dumb shit if you think that's real, right? Anyway, kind of interesting.
Anyway,
And so she tells Masha about what he says about not feeling ready to get married. And
right.
she feels very betrayed by that. What are your thoughts on this?
Uh, I don't blame her for feeling betrayed. I mean, she held up her end of the bargain. She
Meaning what?
she thought that they were exclusive. She could have dated the
Mm-hmm.
whole time too while she was in
Mm-hmm.
Russia waiting to go to Turkey. But
Yeah.
she, was talking to Steven every day, making plans. She loves him. She wants to be with him. So in her heart and her soul, they were exclusive. And then when Steven even asked her to go out on dates, and she specifically told him, "No, I don't want you to do this," he went and did it anyway. And what does that tell you? So the one thing I give to Alina, unlike a lot of these 90 Day Fiance cast members we've seen in the past, she sees the red flags and she
Yeah.
understands these are red flags and they bother her, and she digests them, and she says, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the next step. And if Steven falls for this and continues to flirt with Marsha, then I'm going to end my relationship with him, because he went out on dates, and he's hasn't respected me so far by doing this. And now if he continues to flirt with Masha, what does
Mm-hmm.
that tell? The foundation of this relationship is cracked. There is not a solid foundation. And how am I going to marry someone that I don't have a solid foundation with? So,
So this is starting to remind me of Brandon and Julia. Do you
right?
think that there is like a different standard for female and male relationships in our countries? Like I do have male friends. Do you have male friends?
Yeah, I
And
do.
does
I do.
yeah.
But I think it's a difference in Steven's case, because these are female friends that are exes and that he's kissing. I don't kiss my male friends. My male friends are not my exes. I don't, he's made it clear that a lot of these female friends are exes. And as he tells Alina later on in the episode, that he's kissed a lot of these, female friends. And then we find out that he's had sexual relations with some of these dates.
He's a hoe, basically. He's
And
like a
so
stereotypical
Steven's
religious
female
hypocrite, like
friends,
someone who says he's religious, but like
right?
lives a completely different life than what he espouses. He's
Yeah,
telling her he's so worried about chastity that he has to sleep on the couch. Meanwhile, he's banging all these women
right.
at
So,
home.
right, there's a difference between having female friends and male friends, and Steven's female friends,
Yeah,
because
because
I'm
like you
sure
and me, we
you're
could
not
get together, but we know we're
right.
not going to be fucking each other.
Exactly. And I'm sure you're not going to be tonguing down your male friend, and I'm not going to be tonguing down my male friend. And
Well, it depends on who the friend is. That's all I'm
okay.
saying.
Okay. So the one scene I loved, which for the entertainment value, because there's always scenes for the entertainment value on 90 Day Fiance, is the wine tasting.
Oh
He was
God,
he was
the
so
wine
concerned.
tasting.
He was so concerned
I know
about,
he's so pure.
because they're not supposed to drink alcohol. as Mormons. He's so concerned about that. And
Right.
Alina's like, well, you don't have to swallow.
Oh my God. I didn't even see like the whole double entendre there either.
Oh
But
my God.
truthfully, it's like this is the thing that I cannot stand about people who are hypocrites. They just pick and choose the things that they think apply to them. It's
Yes,
like he doesn't want to drink wine, but he is fucking his friends. Like,
exactly.
one does God find more offensive?
Thank you.
Like,
Just like Muslims that I know that don't eat pork, but they drink alcohol and smoke marijuana.
right, just pick and choose the things that you think are important.
Right? Like, hello?
Me, that is like what the definition of hypocrisy is. It's like,
Exactly.
let me use the rules to my advantage, to your disadvantage. And when you do it, I'll call it against the church.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's like, so they go to this wine tasting stuff, and what the hell is he doing? Is he just acting like he's really immature, or is he just like he sticks his tongue in the glass? He's like,
Do you see how long his fucking tongue is?
yes, I did. I even put it in our podcast notes. I'm like, he sticks his abnormally long tongue into the glass. He's hideous. Like, that was gross.
Brianna, you know how I always see these weird postings on Instagram. So apparently, he sent a Snapchat to someone that screenshotted it, and somehow it wound up on Instagram, and it wound up on my feed. It was basically a picture of Steven sticking out his tongue and with the caption saying, "Hey, this is me. This is my tongue. Isn't my tongue really long? Too bad I haven't had a chance to use it in a long time. Ha ha."
Wait, he really wrote that?
Apparently so. He
Ew, he's
sent that.
nasty.
He sent that in a Snapchat to someone, and that person screenshotted it and sent it to someone else, who sent it to someone else, and it wound up on Instagram.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't want to change the subject, but why did they have cat food? I'm just moving all the way away. You notice they're like in the park together and they're like, okay, well, I got the cat food, and they go head home.
Maybe
Why?
because she noticed the stray cats in the park and decided to get cat food to feed them. I don't know.
Okay, let's make a prediction right now based on what we know on this episode. How likely is it that these two are going to get married and live happily ever after?
0.
0. Goose egg. 0.00. That's
Yes,
my
zero
feeling.
point zero zero
But
zero.
do you think that she's going to break up with him next episode like they showed in the coming on next? Or is that just like
I
a
think it's
ruse?
going to be relatively soon. I don't think it's going to be next episode, but I think
He does
I think
not deserve her.
by the end of the
He's
90
making her
days.
convert and acting so chaste and pious, and it's
Mhm.
bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, let's move on to the real news of the episode, which is Arya and Benny. Didn't you think this kind of took center stage?
Yes. Yes, it did.
That baby's cute, and I
Yes,
don't
he's
like babies.
adorable. He's
They make
adorable.
nice babies. Yeah,
Yes, they do.
exactly. So this really bothers me where well, okay, so they go to the doctor and the baby gets diagnosed and he has a hernia. And I think they call that an inguinal hernia. My
Yes.
brother had that when he was an infant.
And my
he had to
son had
get
it when he was
surgery.
an infant. Yes.
Your son had an inguinal hernia too?
Yes.
Okay, so this is like not an uncommon
It is not an
situation.
uncommon situation. Not at all.
No. And
Not at
she's
all.
concerned. She's like, isn't there something we can do before surgery?
Right.
And the
And
doctor's
I
like, nah.
understand her concern about putting the baby under anesthesia. I get all that. And I think which I don't want to say I know because I'm not in her head, but the being in Ethiopia probably fueled that concern, because if she was in the United States, I don't think she would have reacted that way. Like, she would have been upset, but
I
knowing,
don't know. I disagree with you on that. Not that it's like a big
right,
deal,
right,
but like for me, I chose. Fortunately, my son does not listen to this podcast, but like, I didn't get my kid circumcised because I didn't want anyone touching my kid's body with like a knife or like a scalpel,
okay, right,
and it's like, so I feel, and I live here, although we like to think we have the best medicine in the world, like we shouldn't think that because it's not
right.
true.
And I know it's not true, but
But I
Ari, but then we also have Ari from a family of, her father
of
being
doctors and
doctor and
nurses,
nurses,
exactly, right.
right? I
But so I went because in my quest to be fair
right,
and not to like be all like American centric, I went and looked up what Ethiopian medicine, like what the state of it was. It's not good
okay,
at all. It is not good. Like
okay,
there's a lot of world, resources going to Ethiopia to help give them more training and more, health and like this is not one of the countries in Africa that does well in the medicine department.
okay.
So like it might be a legit decision.
So
But
Benny,
also she
so
wants her
Ari's
mom and
fears
dad. Yeah.
are probably a little bit are founded, and of course she wants to go home to mom and dad, and she feels more comfortable. Like she was trying to explain to Benny, he'll be at the hospital where her dad is like boss of the hospital. Her mom, will be able to help take care of him.
Yeah. And calm her down. Because I
Exactly.
have long thought she has some type of emotional problem.
Yes.
Like she's not like she seems less grown up than she should be. That's all I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Like she seems kind of immature.
Yes.
So whatever. Okay, so here's what I would like to know from you. What did you think about her telling him this in the barber shop? Like straight
She
up
did it on
manipulative,
purpose.
right?
She did it on purpose because
Yeah.
she wanted to tell him in a public place to
So
try to
he couldn't flip out.
minimize his reaction.
I am not okay with that.
I'm not okay with that either. And
I
she was
feel like that
totally
is foul
flipping out.
play.
She was totally flipping out. She was having a meltdown in the middle of the fucking barbershop. But she told him that so it would minimize his reaction. But you're having a fucking meltdown? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Not only that, what we find out is like, so his ex-wife went back to the US with his child and never came back,
And
right?
basically did the same thing that Ari was doing.
Started with like a meltdown and then did that.
Right. So it was triggering Benny once again to what happened with his ex-wife. And it's like, do you really blame him? You can't blame him. And he just needed to get out. He like stopped in the middle of his haircut. He's like, stop, I can't do this anymore. I walked out of the barber shop and he just needed to get some air. And then
I wanted to say too, like in that moment, he showed incredible restraint.
Oh yes, he did.
I learned, I took a lesson from that because my response is always knee jerk and I flare up quickly. And it's like I thought to myself, I need to be more like that. Like I need a minute. I need some air.
I
Like,
mean, even at his even at the high point of the argument in the barbershop when he was, oh, have you spoken to Leandro? What is it? Did you talk to Leandro and now you want to come home now? He wasn't even like flipping out and going crazy,
Yeah.
And that was
that
was like the high point, like, him having a real flip out, and he was still relatively calm.
Yeah, I don't blame him from freaking out.
Yeah.
Like
no, I don't blame him either.
as a parent of like a 9-month-old baby,
I know.
I didn't want anyone taking my kid out of my sight. I don't care if he was with his dad or not, but like traveling that far when the kid has, I don't know. I'm extremely overprotective as
Yes.
parents. Poor Benny. I
So
thought he
then
did a good job. Like I thought that was legit panic.
yes. I mean, you could see the panic on his face. I mean, he was saying he didn't feel good.
Right.
He needed air. He couldn't breathe. I mean, he was legitimately having a panic attack. Legit.
I thought it was bullshit that she not only told him that like in public, but that she bought the fucking plane ticket without telling him first. That is bullshit.
That is bullshit. And I think that's what flipped him out even the most. That flipped him out.
I would lose my shit if my son's father did that.
It's like,
Excuse
what the
me?
fuck? It's like, you didn't even tell me?
No.
No. So
Fail.
next scene, we have them talking to Mama Janice, because Ari thinks that when they talk to Mama Janice, she just fix everything. And Janice is like, Benny, tell me what's wrong. And Benny's like, basically, your daughter went and bought the plane ticket without telling me. I'm worried that she's going to go to the States and not come back like my ex-wife. I'm worried about who's going to help her in the States when she, I know she's a good mother, but what happens when she gets tired or overwhelmed, or, who's going to help her? I know you're very busy. And Janice is like, don't worry, I'm going to be there to help her. So don't worry about that. And you have to trust Ari. She's not your ex-wife.
Right.
And
I mean, that was heavy, that whole scene when he's like on his knees in the middle of the street begging her not to go. That broke my heart.
My heart broke.
Because regardless of whether he trusts Ari or not, like, he's in a terrible position. That would feel horrible. How could you sleep until your baby and your baby's having surgery and you're not
I
there?
know, and you're not there. I know.
No, definitely. This is like a whole no. Anyway, so then she goes to spa day with Wish and the other one. What's the other one's name?
Mimi.
The other sister.
Mimi, yes.
Yeah, so they go to this spa, which looks like my worst nightmare.
Benny makes her go to the spa with them. So she tells them about taking Abby to the States. Benny's like, no, you're telling them. I'm not telling them. You're telling them.
Wait a minute, I misunderstood that. I thought he was supposed to tell them, but he did not do it.
No. Benny wanted Ari to tell them.
I totally missed that.
Okay, Benny's like, no, you're telling them, bitch, basically.
How much would you pay for those spa services to get your vagina smoked?
Oh my
and
God.
Coffee and honey on your face and butter in your hair. I just want to know ballpark price.
I would pay to just watch them do that to Ari over and over on the Zoom. That was hysterical. She was like,
funny if that's like totally not even a thing, but they just did that to make fun of her.
Yes.
It was a total, like, she got punked.
Paging Wish.
She doesn't even know.
Paging Wish. Did you guys set that up just to make fun of her?
No. That's so wrong. Anyway, so she tells the sisters and they're just like speechless. Yeah. Nothing to say.
I mean, they're so worried. Wish's face dropped. I mean, you'd like
think how much you would love Benny if he was your brother, and how much you would want to take care of him, and how much it devastated him and you when his ex-wife left with their child.
Yes.
Like, I understand where you're coming from. Completely.
I know. And then you feel like it's happening all over again. And like you're getting triggered, you're getting flashbacks, and you're just like, oh my God, another fucking white lady is doing this again. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is happening again?
At least her vagina's been thoroughly
smoked. At least her vagina has been thoroughly smoked. Her hair has been thoroughly buttered.
Let's talk about Armando and Kenny because it's way less
Oh,
depressing. See, my
yes.
theory is about Armando and Kenny is that like they don't give them tons of screen time because they're so delightful that they
Yes,
just
they
want to
are.
make sure we keep watching the rest of it just so we can get to the Armando and Kenny scenes. That's my
Yes.
theory.
Yes.
And it's working. That's all I have
Yes,
to
it
say.
is. Yes, it is.
They're very, very cute. Anyway, so we start, and Armando has told Kenny about the discussion that he had with his father, and
Yes.
that while his father had said, I accept you, I accept your partner, but I cannot yet commit to whether I'm going to go to your wedding. So he's telling Kenny's disappointed, but Armando is really happy because to him, this seems like a massive leap already that his father has said, I support you and I accept you. So, what are your thoughts about that? Like, do you think Kenny has a right to feel like that was a negative outcome, or like rather is he being unreasonable?
I don't think Kenny is being unreasonable. I understand how, Kenny feels that Armando has held back for all these years. And his parents should, accept the whole package, as to say. But I do get what Armando says, that with his father, it's a process. And,
Right.
with a little bit of patience, Kenny will get everything that he wants.
Yeah. I felt like Armando understands his father, and I don't care what culture you're from. Some people are just not quick at processing
Right. I don't think
emotions.
it's not a cultural thing at all. It's just the way a person processes their thoughts and emotions and how they deal with situations.
I feel like his dad is trying hard. And
Yes,
from
his
our
dad is trying
perspective,
hard.
we're like, what the actual fuck? Like, who cares if he's gay or not? But we're not from that world, and maybe he hasn't caught up as fast. Actually, yeah, I mean, I don't think his parents are that old.
Right.
And it does bother me. I hate when they make him feel bad for being gay. Like, sorry, it was an accident.
I
Poor
know.
guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but anyway, Kenny, I feel like did a good job keeping kind of a straight face because what he really wanted to say was, I'm super disappointed that your dad didn't immediately say, of course, I'll be at your wedding. But he doesn't want to rain on Armando's parade.
Yes, Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny is always very supportive of Armando, and that's what we
Yeah.
love about them so much.
Exactly. So Cassidy goes to the fabric store with Hannah and Armando's
Deborah,
sister, whose name,
Armando
thank
said
you,
Deborah and
Deborah. Coffee's okay, his
their mom.
sister,
Yep.
and
And
they're gonna go buy wedding flower girl fabric
yes,
for Hannah's dress.
yes.
So this was very sweet. And here's the thing that I realized in this episode. They both have extraordinarily emotional families. Don't you think? There is a
Yes,
whole
they
lot of
do.
crying
There's
going on
always a
every
whole lot of
side. There,
crying going on.
everyone's crying. It's interesting. Even Armando's dad has now cried like 3 times on Hannah,
I know. Isn't
which
that
makes me
interesting?
love him. I love
Yes.
it.
You
Yeah,
gotta love
it's
feeling the
sweet.
emotions, letting them feel the
Right.
emotions.
And Cassidy's like, I cannot really understand this because I grew up with a gay dad, so I don't get like this whole you don't accept them
Right,
thing.
right. And
I've
then
never heard of this.
Deborah's like, you have to see it from our side. We saw Armando married to a woman. So it just takes us a little, it's gonna take us time to accept this whole, thing of seeing Armando
Okay,
with a
but
man
what
now.
did she actually mean by that? So, like, is she saying that we're just trying to get used to the fact that like he switched lanes, because like if that were true, you wouldn't be crying. Like they're not just trying to get used to it, they don't like it.
Right.
There's
No, they don't
judgment
like
there.
it. Yeah, there is
No.
judgment there. You're
And
absolutely
so,
right.
okay, so you saw him with a woman before. You already know that he did that for you and
Right.
for your comfort level.
Right.
Like, that is the reason why you haven't seen him with a man. He's protecting you and your feelings. So, like, to me, I would feel really fucking bad that the person I loved had been like putting up a big facade just so that I wasn't uncomfortable. And I would immediately be like, we're going to change because I don't want to hurt you because I love you. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. That was a diatribe.
Diatribe by Brianna.
Well, I just want everyone to be nice to people.
Yes,
Like
that's all we
stop. Like
want.
there's no room in the world for putting someone down because they're gay. Like I promise you, no one chooses that because it's a hard road to take.
Yes.
If it were an easy, if everyone was like, hey, love is love, we can be with whoever we want and we can change it next week if we want, it would be no big deal, but that's not the situation.
That is not the situation,
Yeah.
people.
Anyway, Cassidy is shocked by it. Just it's all first world privilege because like, but actually I say that, but that's bullshit. Like Europe is well, they're first world too, but it is. I guess all I'm saying is I am aware as every single thing that I'm saying that I'm coming from my own bias. I live in the United States of America. I live in the most liberal state in the nation, so like I just want to make sure that I'm acknowledging my bias here,
Yep. Hi.
Anyway, when they go to leave, they're not going to be able to keep teasing this, okay? Dad's going to come say goodbye. That was a very touching moment when he gave Cassidy
The
necklace.
necklace. Wasn't that so
I know.
sweet?
It's so sweet. And she looks absolutely blissful. Like there was a lot of healing that happened in that moment, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. And his dad better fucking go to that wedding.
Yes, he better go to that fucking wedding.
Right? Okay, so Ellie and Victor. So we're coming to this reckoning moment. Like, what is going to happen?
They need to figure out a game plan.
Exactly.
Because her plan of moving to paradise and setting up a little bar on the beach is no longer going to work out, Ellie. So now you got to think of a plan B. And what is exactly is plan B is the question.
Right. So he comes up with at least their communication seemed very civil because this is some heavy ass shit here. Nobody was fighting, right? Like they were they were calm. And she's like, I don't know. This is not what I had in mind. And I don't think I can stay there. And he's like, okay, well, what if we take 3 days and we go there and we work and then we come back to San Andres and then we hang out there for a while and then we go back and work more. Right. And they seem like they are compromising at least.
Right.
But when she calls Hiromi later, it doesn't quite sound like that.
Yeah, because first of all, Hiromi's like, remember, you don't like camping, girl. And she's like, yeah, that's right. Like you always need to call that friend to remind you, to slap you back down to reality. Like, bitch, you don't like camping, you don't like bugs, you always need air conditioning. What are you doing?
Right. And by the way, he cheated on you.
Right. Yep. And by the way, he cheated on you. Did you forget about that?
Right.
Are you going to approach the subject? Yeah. And Ellie's like, well, at this point, that's kind of minor. And Hiromi's like, no, you need to talk to him about it. Yeah.
And so she decides she's going to. But
yes,
I did like the honesty that was happening on this. I don't know. I feel like Ellie has been really honest, so that is cool. So yeah, now she's got to go bring it up and make him face the music.
Yes, and we'll see how
Yeah.
Victor faces the music.
Yeah. All right. So Jenny and Sumit. This is interesting. Did you not find this interesting?
First of all, I
Like
loved
finally we start to learn like why Sumit is like how he is.
her shirt in the opening scene. Hey, you don't give up, okay? I found it kind of fitting for her whole situation because
I didn't
Jenny is
notice.
never gonna fucking give up until she marries her Michael Jones, I tell you.
Ew, it's so creepy.
Okay? She's never gonna give up. So
Okay, but so here's the big revelation that we learn. Here's why Sumit's a big fucking liar. Because his mom is so crazy and so volatile that everyone is terrified of her. So he learned to lie to avoid his insane mother's reactions to things.
yes, his father basically taught them to lie to pacify their mother.
This is one of the realest reality show moments I've ever seen. This is like someone really understanding why they
Okay,
are the way
because
they are, right?
you know, I mean, basically, you're, and then it just all fucking made sense. It's like this lady has everybody so terrified of her and so traumatized by her that her husband is just like, you know, something, just fucking tell her whatever she wants to hear because I just don't want to deal with her.
Right. Right. And then though we do get a little more insight because we find out that she lost a daughter.
Yes.
And so Sumit's ex-wife, so she lost a baby when the baby was 8 months old, and Sumit was like a year and a half older. And
Right.
so like they arrange his marriage for him, he gets married, and the daughter-in-law becomes like her daughter. So Sumit divorcing this wife, it made his mother lose her surrogate daughter, essentially.
Right. And now she hates Sumit even more for that because she
Right.
feels like Sumit snatched her daughter from her.
She's toxic as fuck.
She is toxic as fuck. So Jenny and Sumit are talking about um them going into couples therapy and his parents going into family therapy because his
Yeah,
parents.
she's like, don't you think your mom needs professional help? And I was like,
Yes.
all time somebody said that
Yes.
shit out loud. Like,
Holy
even for a
shit.
different culture, this is not just our bias. Like, this is some fucked up shit.
Yes, like she is fucking
She's
toxic,
scary.
manipulative. I mean,
Manipulator.
everything you could think of. I mean, she's just
Totally. Okay, so what are your feelings about Smith now, knowing that? Because like we see in the coming like the still to come this season on
right.
90 Day Fiance the other way, we see that Jenny's saying to Smith, you're never gonna marry me, are you? Just say it. You're never gonna marry me. Do you think we're being put on by the producers, or is this finally gonna come to an end?
I think we're being put on by the producers, number one. But knowing what we know now about Sumit and his family dynamic, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. And maybe Jenny just needs to come to the conclusion that Sumit is never going to marry her. And either she's going to accept it or not.
What do you think they should do?
Jenny, go
break the fuck
home.
up, right?
Jenny should just go the fuck home already. That's it.
I mean, maybe they get along if they do seem like they love each other.
They do love each other, but love is not enough, Brianna.
Love is not enough. If you take anything away from this podcast, keep that in mind. Love is not enough.
Love is not enough.
It's
I mean,
not.
in a perfect world, love would
It
be
should
enough,
be.
but it's not.
Exactly.
But it's not. And there's nothing we can do
No.
about it because life fucking
No.
sucks.
Yes. And if you watch Love After Lockup, you should totally go check out our Love After Lockup podcast. Well, actually our interview with Brittany and Ray, because one of their central issues is that this couple, her mother has not accepted this man, this ex-con, into her life. And it's
Right.
just like, you realize at a certain point, marriage is different than fucking someone or even living with them. Once you get married, you're marrying someone's family. So when the families are not in favor, things go very wrong.
Yes. Yes, they
So
do.
like she might love Submit, but is getting married to him gonna be worth that?
Like she said, is it worth it? Her tearing his family apart, this destroying his family. Like, is this really worth it? Because this is destroying his whole family. His mother's toxic, manipulative antics because of Jenny. I mean, it's not Jenny's fault as a human, but because of Jenny's presence, is destroying Submit's whole family. Is it really worth it? Having the whole family destroyed? If Submit's not going to marry her, if the end goal is not going to be marriage.
Here's like devil's advocate perspective. Like, is it a good idea to let Submit's mom win and continue being the monster that controls everyone's happiness?
But I'm saying if Submit doesn't stand up and eventually and marry Jenny, why is Jenny going to stick around and continue to let this destroy Submit's family? Unless Submit stands up and says, Mom, that's it, I'm marrying Jenny. You could threaten suicide 1,000 times. I'm going to marry Jenny because I love her, and actually do it, because we all know his mother's not going to commit suicide the day that he marries Jenny. Especially with her first grandchild's coming. She's not going to commit suicide. We all know this.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the manipulation at all. Anyway, that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode. And
Yes.
this has been fun. And if you viewers or listeners, if you are fans of Love After Lockup, we just interviewed Brittany and Ray. And they were super fun and super cute.
Yes, they are super cute. Yes, Brittany is awesome. And Ray is so chill. He needs to start recording calm stories. Right, Brianna?
Calm sleep stories for
Calm
me
sleep
to listen
stories for
to.
you. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm always looking for a good new sleep story. Anyway, but we interviewed them. That's on our YouTube. And if you want to hear our Love After Lockup podcast, it's on our Patreon. And this week, Brittany and Ray were our co-hosts on this week's episode. So that was super fun.
Yes, it was.
Is there anything else I forgot to mention besides we love you?
No, besides that, we love our viewers.
Yeah.
And you guys.
What about your raffle thing?
Oh, yes.
During the medley. I know it's crossover audience, but if you like Bravo Housewives stuff.
I am raffling off Dorinda's book, Make It Nice, to our current Patreon subscribers and any new Patreon subscribers that we get between now and next Sunday. I decided it was going to be
1 week.
Yes, 1 week.
Get on the stick, people.
Yes, so
get yourself a copy of Make It Nice.
Make It
Lord
Nice.
knows neither Mary nor I can teach you how to make it nice.
No, but Dorinda could teach you how to make it nice.
Yeah. And how to make it ratchet. She could do it all.
Yes, she can.
Everything in between. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And we hope you will come back and join us again soon. Because we're going to start doing this shit live. And you can comment as we go. And shit.
Yes, please.
Anyway.
Subscribe, guys. Please.
Yeah, subscribe. Share with your friends. We appreciate you. Peace out.
Bye.
Oh, that was a lot of recording.
Okay, so now If we had comments,